Lakshmi is from Delhi. Saya Mumaya. Please welcome Huma Qureshi. Well, I'm no different to any of you. You are you and celebrate that in you. I live now. I was existing before. Now I live. There's nothing that a woman can't achieve. Except for Dinesh, I hate all the other cricketers.
कभी-कभी अदती जिंदगी में यूं ही कोई अपना लगता है.
This is an event for women, for women, and featuring many inspirational women. All stars in their own rights. Women who've defined their stardom on their own terms. And this really is the spirit of the India Today Woman magazine and summit. Celebrating womanhood in its wholeness. Our very own little girly network. So since this is our conference and we get to define the rules, this one is intimate, it's confessional, and it's straight from the heart. So I hope you enjoy your day today with all the speakers and your friends. I know I will. So welcome, and let's get started. Thanks.
I think what people really want to know first is what is really the biggest challenge for you from I think a really tough electoral battle in Amethi to becoming minister to all sorts of snide remarks about your educational qualifications, you're not qualified to handle such a ministry. What's it been like?
I think the most challenging event in the past few months in my life has been sitting for an interview to get my child admitted in a Delhi school.
Doesn't end there. We can put in a recommendation here.
But that doesn't end there. Just when I went through the interview and so did my husband and my kids, my son came out and he says, "What have you done?" And I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, this is just the beginning of all that is to follow. I have an exam in 3 weeks and I don't know what to do." So leave aside all the electoral battles that you deign important or momentous issues in my life. I think as a working mother, what is the most challenging for me is to ensure that I get to balance both work and home and prioritize my kids' life. So for me, that is a big challenge, not Rahul Gandhi.
How are your kids holding up?
Well, my children currently are in Mumbai and we are hoping to have them transferred to Delhi, and that is why the interview. But I think it's interesting that never has there been an opportunity where a man has been asked that question.
Yes, of
आपके
course.
बच्चों को कौन देखता है, ये हमेशा वर्किंग महिला से ही पूछा जाता है. आदमी से कभी कोई नहीं पूछता.
I didn't say आपके बच्चों को कौन देखता है. I said how are your kids holding up?
Well, that's a very refined way of asking आपके बच्चों को कौन देखता है. But let me say this, I'm quite blessed that I have children who understand the enormity of my responsibility and don't take it as an added advantage to their lives. In fact, they think that it's a huge disadvantage.
In what way?
Because they're made to do extra work just because I don't want them to feel that they're privileged. I think that I'll not be judged. For me, the best judgment of me will not be what kind of successes or trophies I take home. I think I'll be best judged by the way my kids turn out. Whether my son respects women, gives a woman in her life enough love and enough support so that she can flourish and become successful. And whether my daughter can...
That's very well said.
Whether my daughter can realize her own potential and understand that the course of her destiny need not be charted by her father, brother or husband. So I think I'll be judged best by that.
While you filed your affidavit before the Election Commission in 2004, you said that you'd completed your BA and you had a full degree. When it came to your 2014 affidavit, it became BA Part 1. So what's the mystery of the Smriti affidavit which never got answered?
You know, Rahul, in that kitty of mine where people call me unpad, I do have a degree from Yale as well, which I can bring out and show how Yale celebrated my leadership capacity. And I have said this, that extraneous circumstances are being created so that I deviate my concentration from what my goals are, and I should best be judged on what I deliver as a minister.
Did you have somebody who believed in you, or was it just something that you decided that this is something that I have to do and it's just self-starting, self-propelling?
I remember a time where when I wanted to leave Delhi and go to Mumbai and pursue a career. And at that time, now that I'm a parent myself, very naturally my father was very, very concerned. Because I was going to a new city where I knew nobody, and I was going to a medium or a profession where he knew no one and he could not protect me. And I remember my mother just said, let her be. If we have instilled good values in her, and if you think your daughter has that capacity, she'll succeed. If she doesn't, be prepared so that if she fails and comes back, at least we console her. But in terms of my political life, I think I've been quite fortunate that I've been judged on the basis of my work by my organization and taken forward accordingly. And I would rather be judged that way, on the basis of my work. And we have a Prime Minister who, irrespective of gender or a person's background, judges you on the basis of your work. So that is an added blessing.
He has called you his choti behan.
Yes,
That
he
is
has.
another blessing, isn't it?
I was quite overwhelmed when he did that. It was quite unexpected. Oh gosh, it was quite unexpected. Yes. He comes from a very, very poor family. I guess somewhere he recognized that.
Yeah.
What is it about Narendra Modi that makes Smriti Irani choke in the throat?
Did I just joke?
Yes.
He's not somebody who, not somebody known to be very expressive vis-a-vis his emotions. I think it took a lot out of him to give me that blessing so publicly in such difficult times. And knowing that about him, I think that's what overwhelms me. The fact that I never asked for it. And the fact that he felt that this is the time to show that kind of support. Especially when somebody was courteous enough to say, Smriti who?
2004 वाला एफिडेविट सही था या 2014 वाला? और आप एक पब्लिक पर्सनैलिटी हैं, शायद इस मिस्ट्री को इस
मैं
मंच से
आपसे आग्रह करती हूँ राहुल कंवल जी, आप स्वयं मेरे खिलाफ पीआईएल दाखिल कीजिए, मैं इसका जवाब आपको कोर्ट में दे दूंगी। ताकि वंस एंड फॉर ऑल ये सेटल हो जाए। मेरे किसी भी जवाब से आप संतुष्ट होंगे नहीं, जैसा मेरा अनुभव रहा है आपके साथ।
पर आपने
तो
सवाल
मैं चाहूंगी मैं स्वयं आपको आज आमंत्रित करती हूँ कि आप विशेषतः स्वयं ये बात कोर्ट में मेरे बारे में उठाएं और मैं वहां उसका जवाब देना चाहूंगी और दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी करना चाहूंगी।
यहाँ क्यों नहीं?
क्योंकि ये आपकी कोर्ट है, मैं हिंदुस्तान की कोर्ट की बात कर रही हूँ।
नहीं, जनता की भी कोर्ट।
Court of courts now.
Shilpa Shetty Kundra, as I've been corrected. They forget I'm married. Well, you don't look like a mother of a child, I must say.
I'll take that as a huge compliment.
And I'm sure many are wondering, what is the secret, Shilpa?
There honestly is none. You know, a lot of people would think that, you know, I'm maybe genetically blessed or, you know, I don't put in any effort. And at times I sound really preachy when I give people tips on how they can lose weight. And they have this really weird expression on their face and they're like, yeah, we know. Yeah. But so I really want to say it's all about a lifestyle modification. And that's how I've done it. And I just lead a very healthy life. I'm very disciplined. I'm lucky that I don't drink. I go to bed early, and my form of exercise right now is just running after Vian. So that keeps me really fit. I know it's the most common thing to say when you're a mother, but I think at the end of it all, it's all in the mind. More than conditioning your body, it's about conditioning your mind. And when you're happy with what you're doing and what you're eating, your body is happy with the way it is. And the people who are actually stressed and thinking about what they're eating and standing on the weighing scale and getting depressed with the weight not budging, they're the ones who have an issue. So I'm very happy in the space that I am in, and I feel very blessed. So I think Yeah.
So one confession in front of all these gorgeous women that another gorgeous woman would like to make, something that you've never spoken about, something that you feel that all women should understand and know and respect about themselves.
I don't know if it's a confession, but there's nothing in life that we as women cannot achieve. I really think and believe that, and I really attribute all my success to my mother for the conditioning she gave us. It's all about conditioning. You know, as girls, if you're conditioned to understand and believe that there's nothing out there that you cannot achieve, you're going to grow up to believe. And that belief is what allowed me to go out there and achieve. And there are a lot of women who may not be here in this room or ever get awarded in life, but have gone out there and wanted to do their job to the best of their ability. And money not being the criteria, success not being the criteria, but excelling being the criteria. You know, and I think they do a great job. And yes, that is my keynote confession. There's nothing that a woman can't achieve. I really think that we have the strength and the ability to multitask. And with a smile and unconditionally, men cannot do it.
Ladies, do keep seated because we're going to present sparkling high tea and jewels from PC Jewelers.
When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky. I knew that we would come on right away. Oh, right away. At first sight, I felt the energy of sun rays. I saw the light inside your eyes. Tonight, you and I were beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies especially, Imran Khan. How come you're so normal? Is it because your mother brought you up well? Because she's a... Wait, let me give you the options.
I'm an actor. I act normal.
Okay, she brought you up well. She's a psychotherapist. So whenever you had a problem, you would just lie down on her couch. Or is it just that, you know, you've been surrounded by very strong women from the very beginning? What is it?
I do have to give my mother a great deal of credit. She brought me up as a thinking person. She always encouraged me to think, to question, to challenge. Even her, to ask her, why this, why not that? If she told me, do something a certain way, she would always tell me why. Say, I want you to do this for this reason. I think really that's what's led me here today. That's what's turned me into the person that I am.
You spent a lot of time away from home. You went to a school for 3 years where there was no electricity. You washed your own clothes,
5 years.
cooked your own food. Tell us a little about it.
5 years, yeah.
5 years. How old were you?
I was 10. People think I'm lying when I tell this story. It was like a gurukul, couple of hours outside of Ooty. As Kaveri mentioned, we didn't have electricity, running water. We grew our own vegetables. We cooked our own food. We washed our own clothes. We swept and swapped the floors. If I'm completely honest, we didn't do a whole lot of studying. I think there was we had a lot of life lessons. You learned more valuable things like how to identify poisonous and non-poisonous snakes, which comes in handy more often than you would think.
Okay, you've just become a dad, and I think everyone here would want to know, do you share in the nappy duties, whatever?
I'm just going to say
sleep
this.
duties?
I was the first one to change diapers, not my wife.
Okay.
She had all of these issues about, oh, it smells bad. Oh, God, she's going to kill me when she sees this on TV.
That's okay.
She's going to
You're
kill me when
amongst
she sees this on
friends.
TV. But yes, I did start changing the diapers before she started changing the diapers.
You've been sounding very proper. I think that's a trait that runs in your family.
Very proper,
Yeah,
very
it's,
measured, very controlled, very careful.
It's a Khan sickness. We can't help ourselves.
I can see that. But your socks suggest something else. That means you're a corporate look. If I was a clothes reader, I would say a very proper look, and there's a fun side of you. Now show us your fun side.
You should
We
see
want
the
to see
underwear.
your fun side. Please do something which is fun. Come on, Imran.
What can I say? I'm outnumbered. You have to do something. Yeah, make
Your
your
socks
flight
are
today.
saying
This is my
it.
flight. My wife will kill me.
Doesn't matter. Get killed. It's okay.
Do you have a request?
Sorry?
Do you have a request?
Do we have a request? What? Oh.
Remember, you asked for this. I'm not a good singer. कभी कभी अदिति जिंदगी में यूं ही कोई अपना लगता है कभी कभी अदिति वो बिछड़ जाए तो एक सपना लगता है ऐसे में कोई कैसे अपने आँखों को बहने से रोके और कैसे कोई सोच दे everything's gonna be okay
When complimenting a lady, how honest can a guy truly be?
Jamal, you come off very straightforward always. So this definitely the answers for you. I think it's very important. All the women like to feel good, look good. It's the way you say it is very important. Look at her eyes, nowhere else, and the compliment will be taken well.
Tapasya, would you like to answer that? No? Sarah, come on. Attempt it.
Honesty is always the best policy, but I think as long as you stay kind and not mean, then you're fine.
Rashmi?
Yeah, I think I'd second Sarah and say honesty, but at least sometimes if you tell us, yeah, you look a little fat, then we'll believe the other times you're telling us you don't look fat. If you always keep saying you don't look fat, then the doubt always remains, and that's when you get into trouble.
The last 200 years, if you just look at the history of the world, women have been at a disadvantage because they were denied the right to property, right to vote, and these rights were enshrined in the principles of liberal democracy. Now, put that aside for a moment. When you have a certain section of society, let's say half of it, having been put at a disadvantage, I mean, you try and correct that, chances are that you are going to swing to the other side of the pendulum first before you find some sort of a balance. So a lot of aggressive legislation that comes into play, what we're seeing in India, abuse of that legislation as well, is a result perhaps, and I'm putting this thought out there for everybody to think about, is that the pendulum has been restrained on one end for so long that when you finally remove what is restraining it, it kind of swings wildly to the other side before finding a sense of balance. So on one hand, yes, definitely, we want to be seen as people who go out there and are economically independent, but yet the dichotomy that exists in all of us, and in me particularly, and I'm not afraid to admit it, that I do like it when my husband pulls a chair for me, that I do like it when someone holds the door for me. Now, that is the essential debate and dichotomy that exists in all of us. We all want to be independent women. We want to be considered as equals from a perspective of equal opportunity. But at the same time, somewhere deep down, we also want to be treated specially, and I think that's because of the baggage we carry.
What's your relationship with the industry? What is your relationship with Bollywood?
I'm actually still in the process of trying to understand that. It's an interesting question. I oscillate between feeling that it's my family and also my place of work. So it means a lot of things to me. But having said that, that's the only world that I've known for so long. I started very young.
It's interesting that you say it because that's the only world you've known for so long, yet a lot of people don't feel you that you're a part of that world. Do you feel alienated at all?
No. I know I make a choice of
when I want to be there and when I don't. I connect to it most deeply when I'm working, because my work connects me to the industry. And of course, all the friends that I've made also through work and through the industry. But maybe because I was not born to film parents, the connect is not the same as somebody who's born in the film industry feels, probably.
Are the administrators learning all this? Are they realizing they need to change, or are they still trying to fight and remain the way they were in control, controlling sportsmen, controlling funding, controlling your...
Sure. See, I don't know how much I can talk about corruption, but then wherever the money is flowing out, the corruption is pretty natural, I think. Or sports politics especially has... I spoke to another politician the other day, and he was like, dude, in your field there's more politics than actually in politics. So, and I was so taken aback. I was quite shocked by his statement, but then yeah, it's there, and I don't know how much it'll help the sport, really.
So you and Saina train together, you play together. How do you perceive her? Is she a role model to you? Is she a target? Is she a rival? Is she somebody you absolutely must defeat if you have to take on the rest of the world? What is she to you when you're playing with her?
Of course, she's a senior and she's an experienced player. When I play against her, anyone would think that, okay, we have to win. It's not like, oh, she's my senior or I should respect her. But on court, it's of course rivalry. But off court, from my point of view, we're just normal friends. But I don't know her point of view.
Another issue that keeps coming up for sports like yours is the rivalry, the discrimination that you face at the hands of cricket, right? Everybody says that, India is cricket crazy. They give sponsorship, money, everything to cricket. And Deepika, I want to ask you this because you experienced this firsthand. I mean, your fiancé, you can flash the ring. Dinesh Karthik is, an international cricketer. There must have been occasions where, you're as successful as him in your sport, but where you can clearly see that you're treated differently because he's a cricketer and you're not. Does that happen?
I'm actually very lucky that I have a fiancé who thinks I'm more successful than him. So I'm actually very lucky. But before I met Dinesh, I hated cricketers because they used to steal all the limelight. They used to steal all the endorsements, all the sponsorships. I mean, in fact, I think it came in the papers that Deepika hated cricketers until she met Dinesh. I still hate them. Except for Dinesh, I hate all the other cricketers. But yes, I think, as any other sport in India, we can't compete with cricket. We've tried, but I think it's just a waste of time because we know that cricket is a religion in India. People like watching cricket. But I think I've always maintained to say that our job is to win medals for the country. Our job is to get our sport higher as long as we can. And as long as we win medals, recognition will come.